The tragic hero, as first defined by Aristotle. Aristotle first identified a tragedy in his work Poetics. He stated that the purpose of a tragedy was to arouse the feelings of pity and fear in the audience. And the reason for that was so that the audience could purge or cleanse themselves from these emotions. That was known as a catharsis. It's a term that you will need to know for a test. The feelings could only be aroused within the audience with a hero that was not entirely bad and not entirely good. In other words, they were a real person. There are 3 characteristics of a tragic hero. The first is that the hero was somebody of high renown, was a prosperous person, could be a person from the upper class, oftentimes a person of royal blood. This characteristic gives our tragic hero a place to fall from and increases the audience's feelings of pity for the character and fear for themselves, because if this person can fall from this high status, just regular old me doesn't stand a chance. So it increases that identification and that fear level. The second characteristic is that our tragic hero has a tragic flaw. It's something within their character that is a weakness, something like destructive pride, like ruthless ambition, or obsessive jealousy. The hero is ultimately responsible for his or her own downfall because of this weakness in their character. The hero is not a victim of the gods or of somebody else's evil plot. They have their downfall because of their own weak character, and it's called their tragic flaw. The third characteristic is that the hero has a moment of recognition that he or she has absolutely blown it, and that because of this gigantic error that they've made in whatever the situation may be, they're going to have a bad end. They're going to come to some tragic consequences because of their bad choice. The real hero is enlightened. They have an aha moment, and they're humbled by the experience, and they don't curse the gods. They don't blame anybody else. They recognize it's their own fault. So these are the 3 criteria of our tragic hero. There's somebody that is of high standing socially. They could be royalty, they could be rich, they could be of the upper class, they could be very well known and famous. So they're coming from a high place. Then there's some kind of weakness in their character that causes them to make a bad choice. And then because of that bad choice, everything is just going to fall apart. It's going to end badly. And then the third characteristic is that our tragic hero has an aha moment, and they realize it's their own mistake that led them to the situation that they're in and the failure that they're facing. They don't blame it on anybody else. They accept that responsibility. Then the last thing comes back to the idea of catharsis, is the audience identifies with this hero because this hero could be them. This hero is a real person with strengths and weaknesses, good points and bad points, not all good, not all bad. And the audience feels pity for the hero because he or she is suffering and is human. The audience also feels fear because this character is better or of higher status, but still fails. Okay, so these are the things that we need to remember about tragic hero. Answer the Canvas response for this, highlighting the important parts. Bring any questions that you have to class, and we'll pick this up there.